Okay, so I'm going to give you my theory on dating, and it's similar to the video game theory, which a lot of people have probably heard. I don't know if it's actually called that, but um, I think a lot of people prefer to play a video game from the beginning, similar to a movie. If you're watching the movie, or you're watching like a TV show, or you are playing a video game, most people prefer to play the game from the beginning because it gives them the full picture. You get all the information on the characters, you get the story, you understand the controls better. Um, if you start playing a game and you're in the middle of the game and you have no background on any of the characters or any of the controls or any of the story, you're going to be a little bit flustered. It's going to make the game a lot more difficult because you haven't built up any amount of understanding of the game. So you're just kind of thrown into another situation that you have no context for because you haven't been there since the beginning. And that's I think that's, it's not a one for one analogy, but it's kind of similar to people that are dating um, other people that have a bunch of baggage, or kids is another big one. It's not a big deal if you have kids if you're older, but if you're 25, 30 years old and you have a couple kids and you're divorced and then you're trying to date again, it's not that it's not that you're a bad person, it's not that you might not be a really good person. It's just that if you have younger children, it's going to be a little bit more complicated to date. The children are going to take more of your time. You have to deal with the partner who is still going to be involved in your life and the children's life because the children are still young. If you have adult children, like if you're 50 years old or 60 years old and you have adult children, the adult children probably aren't going to be involved as much in the parent's life, and they are not going to need constant attention or energy from the parent in most of the time. So I think it hurts you if you're younger. If you have kids and you're divorced. Again, it's not impossible to find a good partner. It's just going to be a tougher sell because, just like I said with the video games, if you're a guy, all things being equal, you're going to want to play your game from the beginning. You're going to want to develop a relationship with a woman. You're going to want to cultivate a relationship with the woman. You're going to want to have experiences together. You're going to want to grow together. You're not going to want to have a bunch of things going on that you don't understand. And that's just the thing about getting older. I mean, if you are younger, you're statistically going to have less stuff. You're probably not going to have kids, probably not going to have a bunch of drama, statistically speaking, just because you're younger. As you get older, it's potentially that you're going to have more stuff, more things. Potentially you're going to have kids. You're going to have a bunch of obligations that are outside of the relationship that you're forming with this new person. So that's why I use the video game analogy, because I've played video games before where, I don't know, for whatever reason, I just start off in the middle of the game kind of, or not at the beginning, and things just don't make a whole lot of sense. It takes me a while to get up to speed, and a lot of the times I just end up not playing the game because it doesn't make sense. I haven't been there since the beginning. I'm not really invested in it, and it's hard to really have a lot of energy and put it into that when you haven't been there since the beginning. So that's kind of my analogy with it. And I do see, of course, there's guys that will date single moms and will even offer to support them and do that. But I think in general, guys want to start with a woman kind of on square one, like on the same level. If the guy doesn't have kids, he's probably not going to want to look for someone that has kids. And again, that's nothing against the woman. It's just the reality. Take me, for example. I pretty much would tell you at this stage in my life, I do not have kids. Okay. If someone had kids, like a woman, I probably wouldn't really consider seriously dating them because they have a big responsibility in their life that doesn't involve me. I wasn't involved with the kids. I don't have any power over the kids. I don't have any influence on the relationship with her and her partner or her former partner. I can't say anything to the kids. It's like a really touchy-feely situation. She's always going to have that other guy involved in her life because that's the father of her children. So it's just way more complicated, right? And it's easy just to say, I don't want to get involved with that, even if you are a quality woman, because it's just more, like I said, it's just like playing a video game that you didn't start. There's a bunch of stuff going on which you have no control over how it happens, and so it's easier for guys just to say, I'm going to put my hands up here, not going to do it. Not going to get involved in this because it's not my domain. I don't have control over these variables. I will just stay away from this. And a lot of guys, I think, they're going to choose to remain single than to get involved in that because it's potentially very dangerous and just potentially full of drama. And I think, guys just want something simple. You're simple. I can build a relationship with you kind of from the bottom layer, and then we have a strong foundation, and everything we do is together versus you having basically a past life and all these other responsibilities that I don't know anything about. Now, as you get older, you can't avoid that because people that are older, they're going to have a past. They're going to have more experiences. They're going to have, like I said, potentially kids. And so those are just things that you have to accept. And it's not a bad thing if you're older because the kids don't require as much attention. They can be on their own and you don't need to be involved with what they're doing constantly. But when you're younger, it's I think a lot of guys would just choose to say, you know what, I'm not going to get involved with this because it's just too much drama. I can't control or predict these variables, so I'm going to stay away. You guys let me know what you think on it, and you can subscribe. See you in the next one.